Terrific Tuesday, my Move the Chains audience. We are back representing. How are we doing, everybody? I hope we're doing well today. 2 days later, no football. What a shame. But we got a lot to talk about today. Deebo Samuel, I'm going to give you guys my recaps. Kind of just this time of year. Drafts coming up. Combines in a month. I cannot wait. Football 365, baby. Eat, sleep, football, repeat. That's my motto when it comes to football. I love it. Eat, sleep, breathe it. Hope we're doing well today. So, to start off with, Deebo Samuel, the very talented chess piece of the Niners, he once traded. It's funny. Haven't I seen this movie before? I think I have. It's called This Past Year. You know? I mean, Deebo, this Niner thing is just falling apart. And I'll get to the Niners in a second with the recaps that I do for every division, AFC, NFC, but God, this Niner thing, man. And listen, I like Deebo a lot. He's a physical player, but he's not what he once was. He's washed. I don't know if it's like the health or he's the wide back or whatever it is. He's not what he was. And I think him holding out, him kind of bitching, pandering, all this other shit. I'm out, man. Like, I'm done with this. The receiver position, I've seen this my whole life. When the fuck do they matter? I got to keep asking that question because the running backs this year, when you look at it, all three of them went to different teams. Josh Jacobs went to the Packers. Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. And Saquon went to the Eagles. They got better. They got tougher. They got more physical. They set the tone on the offense. They tell you the temperature of the offense, what they want to become. Tougher, physical. I'm not saying receivers can't do that. But I've seen this movie before. And I saw it in my younger days, 2007. Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Ocho Cinco. They were getting you great numbers and all that. But they weren't getting you wins. They're like the convertible sports cars. They're Ferrari. They're a Porsche. They're a Lamborghini. It's great in the summer, and when I can go out and cruise control and all that shit, awesome. I've talked about this before. But it's really starting to hit me tonight. Where does Deebo go? Who wants to take on that contract, one? Two, he's a little needy, expensive, been hurt a lot. I just don't know. I don't know if that's a great market for him. I just, a lot of times whenever I see this kind of stuff happening, I kind of just think back to Moneyball, the movie. And, they're trying to get players. They're trying to replace Giambi and in the movie and in real life, actually. And you're trying to replace Deebo. And, you think, well, we're one player away. I don't know if that's it. I think Deebo, to me, a place that would fit, maybe Washington. Kind of pair him up, get him another chess piece for Jaden Daniels. They got Terry McLaurin, they got Dwami Brown from North Carolina. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but at this point in his career, he's needy, he's expensive. And I just feel like there's something missing. And I just feel like all these receivers in my lifetime, there's only a handful of Calvin Johnsons, Mike Evans, Larry Fitzgerald to just come in and mind their own business and shut their mouth. A lot of divas, a lot of drama, me. I do think it's because of the point guard position. Like in the NBA, they're the first one to break the huddle. They're the most athletic. I've heard that for years. So, we got to see, man. But I'm not surprised. I mean, this receiver thing is just ridiculous. And if you want me to tell you something, I think Brock Purdy doesn't need both those receivers. He needs Christian McCaffrey. The Niners are mainly a Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan led football team on offense, per se. So, let me get into that. So, NFC West was a little wild this year. Rams won it. Not surprised. They have the best quarterback, best coach in that division. Sean McVay, Matt Stafford still balling. Had a bumpy ride. Started out 1-4 for the second year in a row. But as long as you got number 9 back there, a quarterback slinging that pill, I've got no worries in the world. They got healthy at the right time. They beat the Vikings pretty handily. Their defensive line got really good near the end of the year. Noah Leasing knows what I'm talking about. The biggest Rams fan I know. So I just think the Rams, as long as Stafford's there and McVay, I think they're going to be competitive. And whether that's get to another Super Bowl or not, I don't know. Because the way I'm looking at it going forward, it's them, and I think it's Seattle's division to lose. I think it's between those two. Because if you saw it this year, it kind of panned out that way. Most of the year was Seattle and LA going back and forth. who's going to win that thing. So I do think moving forward, the Rams, to me, have a lot better players than Seattle, but it's not by much. I'll get into Seattle in a second. But to me, when I look at the Rams, their defensive line got better. They're hitting on all their draft picks in the later rounds, especially on defense. I think Les Snead's done an incredible job. I think him and John Schneider are two of the more underrated GMs in football. I put, Jason Light down in Tampa in that category. You all know about Howie Roseman and Brian Gutekunst of the Packers. I think they're in that class too. So I just feel like, to me, the Rams are right there. And I think as long as you got Stafford and you got McVay, good things are going to happen. Now, we got to see with Stafford. Is he coming back? Is he going to another team? We don't know. Because if he leaves and goes to another team, now you got to go figure out, got to get a quarterback. But my hunch is, and we'll see what happens moving forward, because, excuse me, there are 5 teams that could get Stafford. I don't know where. My guess is he probably stays in L.A., restructures that contract, gets the money back. So we shall see. But the Rams, listen, as long as you got McVay and Stafford, you're going to be competitive. And you're going to be making the playoffs and probably win a division, probably hosting playoff games. I did the Niners second, but I just, didn't understand. I didn't think it was going to be the season from hell that they had. All the injuries, all the drama that I saw. They got noisy. You had the Brandon Ayuk bullshit, Deebo Samuel, he's holding out, pitching that he wants the ball. Pander to me. Crying out loud. Jawan Jennings is your best playmaker. He's got no ego. You're a 7th round pick. And then, excuse me. And then you got Devondre Campbell leaving the game mid. I mean, it just was a lot of shit going on. And for a team that always prides itself on being the bully, they got bullied this year. And, I was thinking about this driving home tonight. Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. He's kind of a dick, kind of a prick to me. He's a system coach. Because it's system, and I get it. It does work, Kyle. But what's your second pitch? Because I've been screaming this for a while, and I heard ex-scouts say this. They have no drop-back pass game. So the minute the run game, the run action, all that stuff is not working and the run game is screwed, you got no second gear. So until you figure out and put some more elements in your offense that can get the most out of the drop-back pass game, I'm not saying you got to go total drop-back pass game and sling that pill around. That's not what I'm saying. Do like a 50-50 split so you can kind of catch the defense off balance. Because we all know with the run game and all that shit, it does work. I'm not saying it doesn't. So Niners got a lot to do. Here's another idea. Stop pandering to wide receivers. Go get offensive, defensive line. Because if you watch the Super Bowl, Philadelphia has got both lines of scrimmage pretty damn good. Well, Pat, you don't. Your D-line's Nick Bosa and a bunch of dudes. You gave Hargrave all that money for a couple years ago. He's busted out. I mean, he put an ABP out. Missing persons report, because I can't find him. So, I think the Niners got a lot of question marks. And then you got to figure out with Purdy. He's pretty good, but I'm not paying him $70. No. No way, no how. I saw this movie. He's a nice story. I like Brock Purdy. He overcame a bunch of shit. He was last pick. I got all that. And he's done really well in his career. But he's kind of like Dak Prescott at this point. He's great in the locker room, great guy, all that stuff. I got it. But in terms of the player and where we're putting him on in the NFC, I don't even think he's a great quarterback. I mean, I'm looking around. I'm trying to think in my head. Love, Hurts, Stafford. He's not in there. And he's fine. I'm not trying to pick on the kid. But he's dependent on the situation. He's more trailer than truck. So, I'm just saying. So, I'm not trying to throw shade at Brock Purdy. I think he's a good kid. I think he's smart. Excuse me for 1 second. And I think he's got a lot of toys that I think he can work with. But they're all banged up. He tried carrying the team last year and it didn't work out. So I think the Niners going forward, I do believe they have to invest in the offense defensive line. Because until then you're going to get macked around by Philly. I think Green Bay's got a pretty good offensive line. They always have in their history. And Minnesota isn't too bad. They're coming. Especially Brian Flores coming back. And that defense, add more pieces to that arsenal. Watch out. Detroit, and, Washington's coming. So, San Francisco, you had your window. You pissed down your leg. Good job, Kyle Shanahan. Okay, so that was my recap on the Niners. Just wanted to clarify. Invest in O-line and D-line. Stop paying the wide receivers. You got a big decision on Brock Purdy. So Seattle's an interesting one. Now, I should have flipped them before the year started, but I didn't know how the season was going to go for the Niners because I picked Seattle third, which I'm going to get to right now. But I did say that I've been saying this for the last couple of years. I really love Seattle, what they're doing. I love John Schneider, like I just mentioned, one of the more underrated GMs in football. Geno's fine. I don't think he's, like my dad and I have talked about, he's second tier. He's fine. I don't think he's going to lead you to Super Bowl. But if you give Geno like the Baker Mayfield contract, I'm fine with it. That's fine. Ride it out with Geno. A couple more years. You got DK, you got Lockett, and you got Jackson Smith. Your tight ends aren't bad. Got to invest in the offensive line. I saw that horror on Sunday night against Green Bay this year. So you got to do something on the offensive line. I know you drafted those two tackles a couple years ago in the Russell Wilson trade, Cross and the other kid, and they balled out as rookies. They were great. Last year they got hurt and they were kind of in and out of the lineup. But I do think Mike McDonald's got a great culture going. That Seattle defense, to me, is loaded. A lot of young playmakers, corners, safeties, front, second level. They got guys flying around. And I think Mike McDonald's done a tremendous job. I really do. But I just feel like with Seattle, they're right there. I think they need to get a Brady. They need to go into free agency, maybe get a Sam Darnold. I'm not, like I just mentioned, Geno's fine. But I think if you get Sammy with the weaponry that they have, you're right there, man. Like, I think they could get to the NFC Championship game. I really do. Because I think that if I had to pick talent for talent, Philadelphia's got better players. Seattle's right in that mix. I really do. So I just think Seattle is right there. Now, we don't know what DK, is he going to leave? Follow Pete Carroll to Vegas? We don't know. But as of right now, this is a two-team division race. It's Niners, and it's Rams, and it's Seattle. Rams and Seahawks. That's it to me. And last but not least, I want to touch on the Cardinals. So, picked them fourth. I'm probably going to pick them fourth again. Shocker. Probably going to. Because I will say this, and I'll say it again. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. Kyler Murray's never winning shit. I'm sorry. I've seen enough. I never was sold on him coming out of college. God is my witness. Thank you. Not sold. And he just frustrates the hell out of me. Because there are moments with Kyler Murray that I go, that's elite. And he's one of the best athletes of my lifetime. He's rare. He's 5'11". He's 207. All that I understand. But he's been hurt. I got worries about him not grinding enough in the offseason. Maturity issues. Playing too much pium video games. I'm out. And I don't want to hear about the weaponry being bad in Arizona. They got players. Marvin Harrison had a good rookie year. Trey McBride's like the next George Kittle. Their own line's okay. James Conner's a badass. Duchich, the little midget dude, can play. So I don't want to hear it. On offense, there's no excuse. Arizona, to me, should be struggling sometimes the way they are. But when I watch Kyler, and I watched a couple of Arizona games this year, they had the Viking game on, they had all these other games on. Kyler Murray frustrates the living hell out of me. You're never going to win with him. And I told my cousin Phil Sexton this at Christmas time. I just am out. If I had to pick right now, I'd pick Bryce Young over him. And I'm just being honest. Because this movie, I'm tired of watching it. There's no reason Kyler Murray can't be a successful quarterback in this league. But the problem with him is he's moody, Jay Cutler-esque vibes. I'm out. Like, the gaming is a problem. I don't care if you're a corner and everybody thinks I get on this about it. No. When a organization has to put in your contract a clause to watch film 4 hours, that's on you. So, I think Arizona's got some players. I like them. They kind of remind me of, I'm trying to think of a team. I thought about it on the way home tonight. Who was the team? They remind me of the Giants a little bit. They got some players, but a long way to go. I know they got Kyler quarterback, but I'm not sold. I never will be. Maybe he proves me wrong. I don't know, but that's just my hunch. So, appreciate you guys listening tonight. Football's over, but I got to come up with more content. Stay tuned. Hit the like, subscribe, share button, as I always mention on my podcast. Have a great night. Adios. Godspeed.